It's a little bit of a step on, but he runs into another big fella, David Fafita. But Catalans still well placed, and it's an early kick, a little grubber kick from Drinkwater, and the chase is on. And the referee has alert David Mead is confident the try is given. What a start for Catalan. Reward for that big defensive effort on their opponent's line. And the Papua New Guinean comes up with a score.
Yeah, first real set they've had to defend, and it's a beautifully weighted kick. You know, you've got the left footer in Drinkwater and the right footer in Maloney. And that first real features when you go in attacking kicking game. Brilliant play, brilliant timing. Very simple try, really. Nobby?
Yeah, the short kicking game from Drinkwater is unbelievable, along with Maloney on the other side. But that's the benefit of Folau and all of those big jumpers from the Catalans getting. And what about the quality of the kick? David Mead's got plenty of speed to get through there. Set play from the coach. He'll have organised that. Great touch on the kick.
I think the problem that, you know, the fullback has got, Alex Walker, got Maloney on one side, Drinkwater on the other side. He's got to stand midfield, right? And by standing midfield, he has no chance of getting to that kick.
We have seen two quality kicks in the effort. The kick, the high chip kick from Maloney initially, so that they could ramp up and get Catalan caught in goal for a 6 again, and then on the other side the dexterity and the touch of Drinkwater to roll it through for Mead. Two fantastic attacking kicks.
So here's Maloney, first conversion attempt of the afternoon, and he struck that superbly well. The flags are up, and it feels like they've started like they ended last week. Catalan on the front foot, and already leading here by 6 points to 0, thanks to this try from David Mead.
Yeah, unbelievable from Mead. Drinkwater's the architect. Bit of run from Whitley as well to take some of the defenders off, but get through. Steve McNamara likes it.
And also, you know, the little dummy by McAlora forced the full back, who'd be covering just a couple of yards out of position. Try.
Well, their attack has been pretty potent in the last couple of games. Their defence has been even better. Catalan Dragons, it's now 2.5 hours of playing time since they last conceded a point, which is an incredible effort, especially in the game we've got right now with all the speed and the fatigue that comes with that. So Wakefield have to find a way of getting through this Catalan line. But the Dragons relentlessly rolling on again with Whitley. McAlora pointing the way, goes right. Here comes the kick from Maloney, just drilled towards the corner. Walker's across there. It's the most difficult place on a pitch to pick it up, especially with that black wall bearing down on him, and he's being dragged again. But just stays in the field of play.
That's a brilliant kick and chase once again. Look where they're starting their set. Good line speed with the Dragons.
They look a real pedigree side at the moment, don't they, Catalan? And Wakefield have somehow got to grow into this.
Yeah, they've got to hold their nerve. It's really intimidating when a team's doing that to you in and around the middle. You've got to get to the end of the set and manufacture a kick somehow.
Well, there's Fafita, gets up and plays, and just trying to blast a hole through the middle if they can, but so difficult at the moment. The kick is going to be straight at Morg, who, despite the heavy rain that suddenly decided to descend again, is safe with his catch and carries his side back and beyond the 40-metre.
You can just see the difference for the halfbacks where he's making that kick. You know, deep inside his own half, catches on the full, and look, they're straight on the halfway line again. First tackle.
McAlora. This now is Whitley, Matt Whitley. Try scorer 3 times against Wakefield last week. Not got many hat-tricks to his name, but there's a mistake, a drop by Maloney.
I think they needed that, Wakefield.
Yes, a little bit of respite. And again, heavens have opened.
On me, boys, on the way.
Very rare to see that. I think the combinations that the Catalan Dragons have gotten us, halfbacks, you know, Mahoney and Drinkwater, you know, you've got Tompkins to come in, Mead and Folau. You know, with a big pack of forwards, it's a formidable side. Formidable side.
So here's Wood delivering to Fafita. Tongan international. He's just shy of that halfway line still. Across the line it goes through Miller, and then a step back on the inside, but not too much progress made by Tupou on that occasion. Here's Wood again. Miller offers it back for Westerman. So they're making slow progress here.
Yeah.
Wood again. Little chip by Hampshire, a grubber to be chased. Oh, it's been spilled, and an opportunity momentarily offered itself there. I think it's Morg who's finally got there to just make it safe, but now it's Catalan turn.
But again, good play there. Morg just got back there, but the early kick, because the position of the full back, you know, was vacant. They scrambled it back, an opportunity now for Wakefield to hit back.
I actually think he miskicked it. I actually think he wanted to go a bit further and a bit longer because he was slightly out between the winger. But the result they got with the rain and trying to recover it is just equally as good as what happened at the other end.
It's playing a part, this weather, isn't it? If it carries on like this, it's going to continue to play a part because the pitch is going to be very slippy.
Yeah, and also you've got to try and keep possession. You know, they're trying to dislodge. There we are, first penalty.
Ball steal. McAlorum and Fafita.
Always involved, isn't he?
It's a big man against a little man, but my word, in terms of temperament, they're well matched, aren't they? McAlorum and Fafita. You won't want to get in the middle of that.
It's not about the size of the dog in the fight, Dave, apparently.
Wood out of dummy half. Taken in again by Westerman. Now they've got a good position. Where do they go from here? Wood has a look, comes to that left-hand side again. It's a step by Miller, but it's a slip as he does so, and it makes him an easy target for Folau. They might have a little bit of purchase on that left-hand side, but Tupou's dealt with. Rain is thundering down at the moment. Back it comes to Miller. Now it's with Fafita, looking to step, decides to pass instead. Hampshire helps it wider still. Catalan have it covered. Look at the rain. 68 all over it again.
August.
Back it comes to Hampshire. Hampshire now delivers back from whence it came. Here's Croft,
No.
the youngster.
And that's the difference. In these conditions, Dave, you know, Brian, there had to be a little grubber kick in there behind the defensive line.
Well, they're certainly trying to keep the ball alive and keep the ball in hand after what happened to them last week. They're going to test this Catalan defence, but the smart player would have just rolled it through the difficult conditions, as you say.
There's a big effort by Wakefield in defence. It's worth mentioning that Wakefield three-quarter line, isn't it? Because Jack Croft, who we just saw there, 19 years of age, he actually made his Wakefield debut in front of the BBC cameras last year in a Challenge Cup tie against St Helens. And on the other side, Innes Senior, we've not seen much of him at the moment, wearing the number 40 number on his back, but he's making his Wakefield debut here today. There's another set of 6 signalled by the referee. And the hooter in the background.
Yeah. It's the first one today, isn't it? So
it's an odd place for Innes Senior to make his debut. He's actually on loan from Huddersfield, so this is his home ground. So his first game for Wakefield is back here at Huddersfield. He's a great talent, just like his twin brother Lewis. This is Maria for Catalan. 13 minutes played. McAlorum, Maloney, into the line comes the young at full-back Morg. He's actually a scrum half by nature, but fitting in at full-back in these last couple of weeks. There's a kick from Maloney.
Folau.
Israel Folau underneath it, but it's taken
Walker.
superbly well by the full-back.
and that's brilliant work by the Wakefield defence as well. They protected their full back. He couldn't have a clean jump for the ball.
Well, we've only had 14 minutes, and I'm intimating that I think that the effort and the enthusiasm from Wakefield is probably in excess of what Chris Chester wanted last week.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ryan Hampshire, dummy half. Back it comes to Wood, to Miller, and now they've got a bit of room on that left-hand side. Walker gets it away to Tupou. On his outside, with heart beating fast, was Innes Senior as it was moving his way, but it doesn't quite go the distance. It's the last play here. Senior picks up from dummy half and gets a pass out. Not sure that was planned. Ashurst with a little ball that goes loose but played, and Morg picks up, and Catalan can run it back to relative safety.
Again, another unstructured finish. I think Innes lost the tackle count there, and But they manufactured something that got them a bit further up the field, but maybe with a bit more steady and stable planned kicking game, they'd be further up the field, Wakefield.
I think with the kicking game as well, sometimes you've got to look at the opposition. You know, they're a big pack of forwards, Catalan Dragons. When you are kicking, maybe not look for the touchline, force them back, you know, force them to do some work. Keep the ball in play.
Here it is with Maloney. He's taking a tackle for the team and setting up position on the last play here. Drinkwater, that left foot, sends the ball probingly into what is at the moment blue skies. It's still the sixth tackle. Catalan are juggling and, well, sacked the juggler in the end because George Drinkwater's dropped it.
Just about 15 in, Liam. Thanks, mate.
There we are, handover. Everyone's expecting the scrum again, but just look how slow they're walking back to get settled, as Brian said. I think if you're getting the ball there, you know, in the future, the scrum, more attacking opportunities. Defensive line is set up. First two tackles will be just take it in.
And some of the stats so far, Catalan making an average of 8.7 metres for every carry. Wakefield 4.3. So that tells you about which side is most effective in marching down the field at the moment.
You just see they're a little bit flat there. You know, they've just got to take the ball at pace. You know, it's easy for the defence. That's a little bit better. But they've got to hit the ball at pace. It's easy for the Catalan defence at the moment.
Hampshire, Miller, again a bit of width and finding a little bit of daylight out there, and Tipu is clambering out of tackles, and Innis Senior will take it on. He's almost rolled towards the touchline but stays in play. Last play, Wakefield Trinity. Miller, it's his kick this time. Fairly flat across the line. Kept alive. Well, there's Catalan hands in there. And it's they who will have it back.
Well, I think that was all right by Wakefield.
Yep.
It was a kick with a view to challenging to get the ball, with a view to a try. And I sense that I think Coach Chester's having a crack at Israel Folau's side. I think they've gone early and they've gone wide on a couple of occasions and got some meterage with Tupou and Innis Senior. So I reckon they may have spotted some naivety around what Israel Folau's trying to do in closing the play down.
Yeah, I mean, Innis Senior's not going to lose too many area battles, is he? Albeit he's up against Israel Folau, but he's a big lad as well, isn't he?
He is a big lad, but you know, you don't see many better than Folau in the air.
There's Casti. There's Israel Folau. Maloney with a kick away. Walker with a trap. Catalan with a chase. Wakefield start from there. Get the factor 50 back on. Take the rain hoods off because the sun's out once more.
Yeah.
Factor 50. Huddersfield here.
You have to be careful these days, Brian. You have to be careful. Croft. Jack Croft. Offloaded it after the tackle had been called by the referee, so back it goes and played. Westerman. Miller. Quick hands from Walker and all the way to Innis Senior, and Senior tracking back.
Good play.
He'll be growing in confidence, won't he?
Yes.
With his new team.
A couple of nice runs.
Here's Westerman. Direct. He can handle the ball. Can Joe Westerman, but he's just taken on the direct route there. And here now comes the last. Hampshire with a little chip over the top. It's, well, they're not sure whether to stick or twist. The ball is knocked back on the inside, and Wakefield, from very little, nearly created something special there.
Yeah, they had a bit of luck there, really. I'm not sure that the kick was intended where it went, but he just managed to get the ball back in play. Just comes off the right-hand side. Does extremely well to just keep it in play, Jowett. It could have managed, but they just scrambled it, closed the play down.
I thought the boy Croft twisted his knee really
did,
badly
yeah.
at the end then. That's play on, that's great effort.
His handover, we've got about 23 water carries out there at the moment. Why do they, I mean,
You've got to think about that.
Why do they need so much fluid at this stage of a game?
Well, because we've already described that it's 25% faster, 30 more tackles in a game, far more exciting, they can't get their breath. Give them some water, Dave.
It's a rare stoppage. We're not used to this. The game stopped. Going to
I still think there's an injury there.
yeah.
I think Ryan
Hampshire's getting
get some treatment.
Is it going to be okay?
It's the same both ways. It's in the hands of the doctor.
Well, he's having a good conversation there. They're asking him what's wrong. He's very difficult to say. Oh, he just had a bang on the head. That's it.
He's probably saying, I'm absolutely jiggered.
Yeah.
So for the sake of me and my teammates and even the players on the other side, let's just make this last as long as it can.
Or he's saying, you tell me, you're the doctor.
They're getting a bit of oxygen back in their lungs. See from Robbie onto Paul, who's I think standing on the other side. Well socially distanced, aren't you, Robbie?
I can't get far enough away from you lot, to be honest. I am on the other side of the stadium. It is interesting being in this stadium where there's no fans, because you can hear a lot of what's going on. In the opening 10-15 minutes, all we're hearing from was James Maloney orchestrating absolutely everything for the Dragons, just moving the players around and everything. But in the last 10 minutes, Jacob Miller has stepped up for Wakefield, directing players, getting involved and making the Wakefield players come back in different angles. And that is the Catalan Dragons defensive line have really struggled with that.
There's a bit of a slip from Battieri. 5 short of the halfway line. McAlorum to Casti. Casti just head down and drive. What a servant he's been of this Catalan club. Down the years, Remy Casti.
Great D from Wakefield.
Yes, and he felt that.
Lenny has to get a kick away rapidly. In his senior, thought about the catch. Ball squirts underneath his feet. Alex Walker picks it up. He slips. So Wakefield start here. And the social media feeds this week telling me that Robbie Hunter-Paul has been wild water swimming in the last week or so. Jonathan Davis has been training in a gym with Carol Vorderman. What have you been up to, Brian? Cleaning the budgie out? Anything exciting?
Where did that come from?
Backyard weights is about as exciting it gets for me. Carol Vorderman, have you?
Yeah, he was all over Twitter yesterday. It was different.
No, he wasn't.
With young Carroll. Here's a kick out of dummy half from Miller. He was behind a 40, but it's it might yet tantalise the touchline. It doesn't quite. Back goes
great kick though. Great kick. Keep it in play. And just watch the Catalan Dragon forwards walking back. They're back there and have to do some work here. Davis takes her in. Just watch out for now for Yaha as well. Next one.
It's prolific at the moment, is Tom Davis. 3 tries last week. He's scored 5 tries in his last 3 games. On the inside, of course. Oh, and here's Big Sam Cassiano on the field. Well, he's been up and down in the weeks since lockdown. If his team are on the back foot, he can often be in trouble. Israel Folau, lovely ball away.
Yeah.
Davis tracked 40 metres out. Last play in the set. Maloney.
Good pressure on Maloney.
Spinning it high. And a nice safe catch from Max Jowett.
His last 4 efforts, he's had to cope with a lot of pressure.
He has.
Along with drink water. So that tells me that
There's a slip.
Wakefield, up until that point, we're getting into the game. Not only getting into the game, but getting on top territorially because of their enthusiasm and their effort.
That's a blow, though. That is, the last time they were in this position, they scored the try, and they've been caught in the previous games. I think the boys showed before the game. They were caught, on the channels, on the outside wide channels, and that's because they did so much work. The defenders were dragged inside, and they just picked them off outside. And Davis scored a few lovely tries. But this is now a big opportunity for the Dragons.
So Cassiano will play. 20 metres to cover, 6 tackles in which to do it. Catalan will be backing themselves here, but how tough is this Wakefield defence? Battieri, first man in. This is McAlorum. Garcia hands it off to Sam Cassiano. How big, you might be asking? 6'4" and 20 stone. So he takes some stopping that close to the line, but he is stopped. McAlorum goes out wide. It's a drive, it's a twist. Well, they're just going to keep Maria at bay, I think. McAlorum stands and waits. Wants it playing. There's a bit of pushing and shoving. It's Garcia actually underneath all of that. Now it's with Drinkwater. A kick again. It's a gimme for Fuhad Yaha. An easy try from a wonderful kick. And Catalan have their second.
There's not much you can do really there. You know, they were sucked in with some, you know, big runners toward the post. Then they get sucked in. But it's a pinpoint kick, and it's an easy try for Yaha. He just holds his width there. All the Wakefield defenders, they just try and they get a bit congested. But that is a beautifully placed kick.
Absolutely fantastic again from Drinkwater. There's the error from Croft, which gave them the field position, because Wakefield were really clawing their way back into the game. This is early in the tackle count.
Yeah.
Drinkwater's lifted his head there, and you're absolutely right, Jiffy. I've got to nail this kick if I'm taking that chance early in the tackle count. That's where the quality of your skill is questioned, and he came up trumps in relation to the quality of his skill. Take a chance on an early play, get the results.
And if you watch, just notice, right, when they come down the left-hand side, it's Drinkwater with the kick because he's left-footed. When you go down the other side, it's Maloney with a right-sided kick. Because if your left side, you come in on the left side, you have more time because your kicking leg is away from the defenders.
So here's Maloney, looking for his second of the day, and over it goes. Super League's top point scorer this year with 72. He's already put his stamp on this game with those two kicks.
So clinical. Just watch. Look how many players beneath the posts, and that's a beautiful kick. But you know, it's very difficult to defend that. Very difficult. They're caught short. He drops back, but the kick just beats him.
He's proving quite a return as well, Fuhad Yaha at the moment. 6 tries now in this, his 8th game in 2020. Pre and post lockdown, he's been a regular in crossing the whitewash. 15 minutes of the half remaining, and a scoreline against Catalan that remains 0. It's becoming a common sight.
Yeah, I'll pick up on the point that Catalan's field position has come on the back of poor skill from Wakefield. I don't mean that disrespectfully. They weren't forced errors. It wasn't something that was challenged. It was either a drop, and they'll take some encouragement if they can cure that side of the game. I remember Jamie Jones talking about it, about the errors going up. Well, they're avoidable errors. They're not the type of errors he's talking about. Forced errors with the impact and the fatigue, I get, but those are coach killers.
Maloney
and team killers.
All the chasers on side. Israel Folau was buried down on that, but it's well taken by Innes Senior.
Good pressure once again.
Another test on his Wakefield debut, another test passed. You can hear the conversations taking place on the field. It is a weird atmosphere. We are getting used to it, of course, and you're hearing, of course, the atmosphere. We're pumping in the recorded atmosphere from previous occasions. Inside the ground, all is quiet, apart from the call of the two sets of players. Here's Westerman, held up, and finding that Wakefield have reached tackle 5 and still midway inside their own half, so it needs a good kick downfield. That's not a bad one, but Morg will just pick up. A little bit of a slip, but hands it back on the inside here for Yaha. And Yaha well met by a good Wakefield chase.
Yeah, good chase, good kick. You know, it didn't make the yards again. To the kick is very difficult.
Just tickle Brian Noble. You got a big smile on your face, don't you?
Where you said Yaha, I was thinking of the Flintstones and Yabba Dabba Doo. He should be running in that kind of fashion. But I think Wakefield have been all right this half.
Oh, that's
that looks a bit dodgy. He's going to give a penalty here now.
Yes.
Do without that. Yeah. So if you look at penalties and errors that have created other than that, you've got to say that they're in this game. I was just about to say they need to score next to give them that belief and put a little bit of psychological pressure on the Catalans team.
Yeah, but again, that mistake now will put them back. And this is very. I think there's so many kind of big guns to throw at the Wakefield defence. You know, they've got to try and avoid getting caught in this position by poor discipline or errors.
Cassiano looking to crash through the middle again here. Talking about the Flintstones, he's got something of the caveman about him, hasn't he, as he crashes in. McAloran goes right, Maloney just makes things up as he goes along with the poor pass, and it's not a bad outcome. Miller manages to tidy up, but Maloney's followed up to make the tackle.
Yeah, I just think, rather than risk picking it up, a little controlled grubber kick. That's very, very good play by Maloney. Just watch. Again, it's the weight is perfect because Wakefield have got to take it out, and unfortunately, Miller can't do it. So another set.
Winners of this, by the way, the draw for the quarter-final has already taken place. So the winners of this will be against Salford. So no doubt Ian Watson and his team will be watching on today. Pick out any markers they can. Quarter-finals in mid-September here on the BBC. Some juicy-looking ties there as well. St Helens and Warrington is just about the pick of them, you'd say, at this stage. Catalan hope to be in the quarters.
Good read by Croft there because they'd created the extra man.
Cassiano, soft-handed pass to his right. Garcia takes a tumble under the duress of a two-man tackle. Catalan come left, Drinkwater's boot is there again, but he can't create this time. Whitley's claiming he was obstructed. The referee says we're having none of that. And Wakefield get away with a tap back on the 20, and 7 tackles therefore. Yeah,
very well orchestrated, aren't they, Brian? You look at it, they are attacked on the left, and they make one ploy again, straight to the middle, split the half-backs. Very well marshalled by the half-backs.
Here's Jay Pitts. Open plays. Hampshire out of dummy half. A little bit of a slip there from Croft, which made things look a little painful, actually. For the 19-year-old. He was the first Wakefield player to be born in this millennium. That's becoming a less rare thing, isn't it? Players born in this millennium playing this great game. Miller with a step and finds a gap. That's wonderful from Jacob Miller, and he has support as well. Well, the Catalan defence come flooding back. But Wakefield can start from here. Miller back to Hampshire. Hampshire's got 3 on his right-hand side. His turn to kick this time. The chase is on, and Jay Pitts puts out a big arm. Claims the try. The referee is going for the video replay. On the field, he thinks a try. But we're going to go to James Child now to find out whether this is a try or not. James.
Okay, we've got a live decision of a try. It's from a kick, so we're going to check the onside from the kick first. Both feet should be behind the ball. All players are onside, so we can play through. We're now looking at grounding. Ball is moving. All he has to do is touch it down. Ball changes shape and rotates. Ball, hand in contact, ball grounded, confirming the live decision of a try.
Well, normally you'd hear a roar, but now we get a contented sigh. The try is given.
We've gone on about Maloney and Drinkwater, but that was very well executed, by the Wakefield Trinity halfbacks. Miller, instead of shifting it, he has a little dabble on his own, gets behind the defensive line. Just watch.
Great break from Miller.
There he is, brilliant break. Steps inside, he's gone. And that's all of a sudden. Just watch who's got to make the tackle. It's a full back, Morg. So he's running back, he's out of position. Hampshire sees that, beautiful kick. Lovely try by Wakefield.
Kicks galore. It was a beautiful kick in the end from Hampshire. Pitts clearly had to chase it. Here we've got the kick.
So Hampshire settles himself and pumps it right where it needs to be, and Wakefield are right where they need to be. Back in this cup tie with 31 minutes played.
Great awareness by the half-backs to see where the full-back is. He's got a lot of ground to cover over there, and if he gets caught in by a line break, there's no one at home.
I think it was smart also from Miller, Jiffy. He knew there was another couple of plays, so he had the opportunity to run. He hadn't done a last tackle. He wasn't putting his team under pressure. They could regroup if he didn't make that break, but
I think he's got to have a few darts, and the half-backs have got to have a go because the forwards are struggling to make yardage, give them the platform.
The halves create things because initially they're a threat. They have to be a threat. They have to think that the half's going to run at the line to create some doubt. on the defensive line.
That'll give them confidence, so that'll give the Wakefield players confidence. You know, they're in an arm wrestle, they've got to hang on in there. They've made a couple of mistakes and they'll be very pleased they've hit back, you know, to give them huge confidence. No mistake, good kick in this set now, and put the pressure on down there.
There's a knock on, which they did not need. Jordan Crowther to his feet, is furious with himself, with a little bit of encouragement from his teammates, but he's let that slip, and he has given Catalan prime position again here.
Well, this is a big set for Wakefield defensively.
It is.
They've got to really aim up here and try and repel this Catalonian force.
There's a shot clock, but the referee has just noted there's an injury on the field. I think he's saying get back in the line, the shot clock's on.
I think he got injured, didn't he, while, you know, scoring that try, and just carrying it a little bit now.
And heaven forfend, sometimes players do pretend they have an injury to try and slow things down, and I think the referee was mindful of that when he said get up, get on with it. Step back on the inside here from Battieri, and it's a penalty. High shot. Do you go for two here, make it a two-score game?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's what they're doing.
but you know, it just kills the coach out, doesn't he? You know, he's one drop ball and then a penalty straight away after, you know, creating a beautiful try.
Tanya, what are you saying on the touchline?
Mickey McAloram's gone off for a head assessment. It's looking all right that he will come back, but he is undergoing a head assessment at the moment.
Okay, we'll keep our eyes on that. 15 minutes maximum, isn't it? And if he's not okay, then he can't come back. So Maloney with a kick here. By the way, we mentioned the time taken for Catalan's defence to be breached. 175 minutes between that try by Jay Pitts and the previous points that they conceive. So it's very nearly 3 hours that they've gone without conceding a try.
I think there's never been a question about their ability. You know, it's about their attitude and desire, especially when they travel away from home. And I think with the stars that they've got now, Tompkins, you know, the half-backs, Mahoney and Mead and Falau. Easy kick.
Short-footed again.
They will drive those kind of standards up. No complacency. You know, they are born winners, these boys.
So 14-6. It's a different dynamic this year, isn't it? Because Wakefield is struggling in the league at the moment, given their form since they've come back from lockdown especially. But there's no relegation this year. So in years gone by, they might have looked at this competition a little tentatively, mightn't they? But, you know, should we preserve our Super League lives? Should the eggs all be in that basket? But the fact there's no relegation, they really can give everything to this game without any concerns out with this game.
Well, there are those of us that think they should anyway. Yes. There are only two competitions to win in the whole year, and if you've got a chance of winning one, then you should play your full part in that. So I slightly disagree, Dave, with the fact that Super League, whatever, of that kind of argument. But yeah, I think James Maloney for the Catalans is just.
Yeah. Well, here we
just
go.
haven't explained it. There's his kicking game again, and the kick chase team keep them down there.
It's a terrific chase, and look who's leading it, Sam Castellano.
I'm going back to your question here. Every player in the game wants to play out to Wembley, so you've got to give it everything.
I think the plans at the moment are to play the final at Wembley. That's certainly being considered, but in these times, anything can change on any given day.
This is where they struggle here. They really struggle to get good yardage. It gives, you know, good platform for the kicker.
4.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Fast-paced. 3 tries. 2-1 in Catalan's favour at the moment. Wakefield desperate to get downfield as quickly as possible here. Yaha watches. It's quite a good touch actually from the winger, and a good pass away as well. A little dangerous flirtation with the touchline. Jowett trying to make the tackle, might have hurt himself.
I think they've been very disciplined as well, the Catalan Dragons. It was 36 minutes gone, they've only given 1 penalty away. Wakefield haven't had a reset as well, so good discipline.
Garcia out of dummy half, taken on again here by Goudemont. Part of that Challenge Cup epic 2 years ago, Michael Goudemont, but it's his first game this season This now is Maloney, looking to track back. One play to go, 10 metres away. Is it inevitable we're going to see a Drinkwater kick? Cassio. Drinkwater does put it high. There's the challenge. Mead has it. He knocked them in midair, got between the two of them and snatched the prize away. He has his second. Catalan have their third, and just before the break, that's quite a move they've made.
Well, they've gone at Croft and Jowett again. Mead can jump. The left-hand side, Drinkwater's kicks are just so offensively orientated. So when the ball goes up, it's a competition. As a coach, you always advocate, let's go for it. What about the quality of his kick? He gets it from Cassiano, and it gives the offensive players the upper hand. You've got two young blokes there, Croft and Jowett, and jumps literally between them. Great kick again,
It's
though,
a brilliant kick, but on this occasion, the opportunity was there. It wasn't as precise, and just Mead made it his own, didn't he? That's the difference. He commits to it, doesn't take his eyes, jumps early. Jewett could have got to it, really, maybe he's running onto it, but that's a brilliant jump again. Technically sound. But again, precision of the kick. Under pressure all the time, all the time. It's never an easy take.
Captain the Papillons to the World Cup in 2017. Proud wearer of the Kümmel's jersey on many occasions, David Mead. And he's wearing his Catalan shirt with pride here. He's not long back from injury. He had a medial strain, didn't he? He played last week. I think that was his first game back since March. Maloney's been spot on so far.
Yep.
With kicks from this angle, or even tighter, and he's done it again. 4 out of 4, so 20 points to 6. 2 minutes from half-time. Catalan have put themselves right where they want to be.
Clinical, absolutely clinical. When given the opportunity, they have taken everything.
Well, it's with an opportunity, the kick. So brilliant. You've got to give your kick chasers the opportunity to get up in the air and compete for the ball. Often kicks are seen to be defensively orientated. Well, Drinkwater's kicked the ball this afternoon with a view to scoring tries.
And I don't care who you are, what side you are. It's the best side in the world. To defend, they are so difficult to defend, and I don't care who you are.
And if you were going to say before the game that 3 tries for Catalan would come from kicks, you'd have thought, well, at least one of them must be Israel Folau or have gone his way. They've all gone the other side.
Yeah, they have, yep, they have.
Cassiano, up onto his knees, plays it quickly, out of dummy half Garcia. A little chip, it's an odd one, but Davis has to hold his ground to take. Still tackles in the back here. Joel Tompkins, scorer of one of the great Wembley tries. Seems like a while ago now, wasn't it? 9 years ago, 2011, and a kick that just trails and finds its way into touch. A little bit of game management with less than 30 seconds on the clock in this first half.
Yeah, job well done in the first half. You know, nothing really flash. Done their job, but as Brian said, beautifully orchestrated by Maloney and Drinkwater.
Who the reflection will be is Chris Chester's ray of hope, if there is any, is that the 3 or 4 times they've been in those kicking positions have been on the back of what Wakefield have done, not the Catalans.
Yep, exactly.
Well, they've just watched time out. Nobody with an appetite to get on with the game at that stage. Half-time can't come soon enough for Wakefield. Catalan in complete control. They lead by 20 points to 6.
Yeah, 14-point lead for Catalan then at the end of the first half. Steve McNamara will be heading into the changing room with a degree of satisfaction. Let's take a look at some of the stats from that first 40 minutes. And you'll be able to see that the attacking kicks, and we're going to focus on those, double from Catalan as opposed to Wakefield. 2 errors from Catalan, 3 from Wakefield. Jonathan Davis said it in commentary. Jamie, clinical.
Been clinical, yeah. Do you know what's really standing out to me in this game is the real importance of the fundamental basics of rugby league. We've seen some great skills on show, great kicking game from Maloney, being an architect, marching Wakefield back down into their own in goal. young Alex Walker having to pick the ball up with 100 metres of field in front of him and a wall of black shirts raining down on him. So it's just getting the basics right for me.
Yeah, no, a really different performance here from Wakefield. Actually, effort-wise and their intent has been great, hasn't it?
Yep.
But unfortunately, they've come up with errors, a few sloppy penalties. And what that's done, actually, is given Catalan field position. You can't do good ball kicks if you're not near the opposition's line. And a bit of that, Chris Chester will be frustrated that a bit of that was invited. They invited Catalan in through errors, through penalties. And that just let Catalan execute these really intricate little kicks, which they executed fantastically, by the way.
Before we come on to the kicks, you both talk about good old-fashioned basics. It doesn't matter what sport you talk about. People always tell you that defence wins you titles and championships, and it was Catalan's defence that got them the first try.
Well, I thought, what a collective mentality this showed. Look, we're all just going to get off the line and apply some pressure to Wakefield. And just like Jamie was saying, 100 yards of field to go.
Yep.
And Israel Folau with a big effort there to drag him in touch. And what happens here, actually, the young fullback Walker, if we just watch him now, he tries to fill in the defensive line. He gets his numbers a little bit wrong. And probably he shouldn't be there. He's got a defender there anyway, and he would be out the back, maybe escorting a runner or getting to this kick. That doesn't happen. It's a really delicate touch from Drinkwater and a great chase from Mead.
All kick tries as well, and they talked in commentary about the fact Catalan had not conceded for the best part of 3 hours until Wakefield scored. But that's not by accident. It's not because people are just great defenders. It's just the mechanics of the way that they're playing out their games.
And conditions are huge, aren't they? So we've been blessed since maybe Super League restarted that the weather's been great, and we've seen a lot of this fast flowing sort of style of play. Well, when the weather's like this, one tactic that never really gets old is kicking behind on last plays. And like I said, you need field position to do that, and that came off the back of a lot of Wakefield's errors and penalties.
You can't underestimate how